dog.
Yeah, honey.
What's your favorite episode of Everybody Loves Raymond?
I'm so glad you asked. It's called Misery Loves Company. And
you know the title.
Honey, I know the title. I could quote every single piece of it. Robert and Amy have their 3-month anniversary, and they have over Frank and Marie and Ray and Deborah, and they think they know all about marriage, and they give each couple a book on how to have the best marriage. This couple that's been married for 3 months. And and Deborah fight and Frank and Marie fight. It's I don't know what it is. Every single piece of it makes me giggle. It's my go-to that I'll watch no matter what. It's in the later seasons, but it's called Misery Loves Company.
You think we have nothing to offer? We've been married 46 years. We've seen the lows and we've seen the highs.
What day was the high?
Wow. That's a good one. That feels like, I don't know why that feels like a deeper cut.
It probably is.
I like it.
It's just them. It's literally them in Robert and Amy's apartment. And it's just the entire episode is that. And them talking at a dinner table. And it's so funny. It is it's like quintessential.
Need.
Yeah.
When it is just them, that's all you need.
Yeah. How about you?
I personally really like the one where Marie sculpts a vagina.
Yes. And then she finally steps back and she goes, "Oh my God, I'm a lesbian."
Yes.
It's an abstract.
Not abstract enough.
You've done an amazing job.
It looks like something, though. What does it look like?
Yes. Because I remember watching it as a kid and not really understanding what was happening. Not really understanding. But, like, I knew that I still knew that it was funny somehow. Or, like, I knew that, like, I don't know what I didn't. I think it just, once I watched it, like, as an adult, and I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, well, we have something very, very special for you. We are talking to Patricia Heaton and Ray Romano.
I'm excited. I'm nervous.
I know, you're a little fangirling.
A little bit, a little.
Yeah.
You want to see all that and so much more. So let's get to middling. Eden Sher, our guest today. Basically, they don't need an introduction, but they're actors and they like attention, so we'll do it anyway. After meeting Phil Rosenthal at Arts Deli, if I got that correct, Ray Romano was developing a show closely related to his life, a cop brother who touches food to his chin, twin boys, older daughter, his parents, and a show about Ray's life was now in development. And our guests first met during pilot season in 1996, where Patricia Heaton, after dealing with a babysitting issue, famously, made it to the audition, cut a handful of women in the waiting room, said, I gotta go home. And famously, out of all the people who auditioned for the role of Deborah Barone, Patty was the only one who kissed Ray on the lips during said audition.
Ray's shaking his head.
That's what, you get that all right? And you were clipping coupons for Ballpark Franks, I remember.
Yeah, that's what got her the job right there.
Yeah. Is that true? That lore is true, right?
We said if she's that brave an actress, we say that's who you are.
Right. And it was about as passionate a kiss as I give my own husband. Right. So that's, yes.
Just a drive-by kiss, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they felt it. They felt the authenticity.
No. We had you came at the end too. We had seen so many actresses for that. And actually the network wanted one of them. And we just thought, Phil and I both thought, she's a fine actress. She's just not a New York housewife. She just didn't fit. And thank God he let us keep looking. Yeah.
It was a similar first kiss with Neil Flynn on the middle. I think it was the pilot where I give him a peck. And he said, after we did it, that doesn't feel like how a married couple would kiss. I'm like,
Neil?
After 30 years, that's exactly how a married couple would kiss. Neil's never been married, so he's got some strange idea about. Right. It was another drive-by kiss. Yeah.
He thought it would be a little more passionate. Yeah.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. We were really laughing. Eileen, all of us were laughing because it was like, oh wow. He has no idea.
Yeah.
Funny.
I didn't notice my husband had grown a mustache for a month.
Right. That's right. 30 full days.
A month. I was like, when did you get that mustache? We were in front of friends, and luckily we were in front of friends. So he was like, oh, I'm glad there are other people here to see this happen. I've had this for 30 days.
That's funny.
How? Okay.
Even finish the intro. We got more.
Brock split our intro up and
Go
got
ahead.
carried away. All right, we're going to finish introducing the people that we haven't introduced yet. Of course, their on-screen chemistry and unmatched comedic timing were a big part of what made Everybody Loves Raymond such a hit over its incredible 9-year run. After 210 episodes, multiple Emmy wins that we on the side of the middle were reminded of daily. And an immense amount of critical praise. They have both gone on to do incredible things since then. But most importantly, they reunited on our TV screens during the Middle's season 3 premiere in a flashback when Frankie and Mike Hag are celebrating their honeymoon with a camping trip. And who crashes the party but Nikki Colebrenner, Mikey's old classmate. And Nikki tells Frankie in a line that made me chuckle, you know, in an alternate universe, you and I could have been very happy together. Please welcome Ray Romano and Patricia Heaton.
This is so fun. Thank you for doing this, you two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to
Thank you.
Ray, Patty was our inaugural guest. She was our first one, and Patty, we've come a long way since you
You had everybody on. I've been seeing Rachel Dratch and Vicky and Marsha.
We had Paul Hip too. I mean, we're rounding up everyone.
How long have you been doing? How many episodes have you done?
We started back in July last summer, and now we're just about to hit season 3. So we've been doing one a week, and every once in a while we jump ahead to a future episode that's later on down the road. But we've been going chronologically, and it's fun. It's a little. We always say it's a little bit of a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's been very weird because I haven't seen any of the episodes. I'm watching them for the very first time.
Did you never watch them when they came on?
I watched season 1 and half of season 2, and I was 18 years old, 19, and I was like, I cannot watch myself. Absolutely not. I'm hating every second of this. It was not good. Because you didn't like what you were doing, or you don't like to watch yourself acting generally. All of it. I didn't like what I thought.
But what you were doing was so fabulous. I mean, this Sue dance is like iconic now.
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
Now, as a 33-year-old, I watch and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm funny. Okay, I'm funny. I did it.
Yeah.
Did they put those braces on you, or were you really wearing braces?
No, they were fake braces that I got put on, but I wore those fake braces. Patty's kiss to you was my fake braces. I wore my own fake braces to the
audition.
Yeah. And it was the only reason. And also I was legal 18.
Oh, you wore fake braces to the audition.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was your own little choice. Nobody. Yeah.
When Everybody Loves Raymond ended, how long did it take before you guys started rewatching it, or do you guys ever rewatch it?
Well, funny you mentioned that.
Well, you.
Because I'm not gonna. I might regret. Well, I've already said it in public.
Yeah.
But during COVID, I happened to it's on Peacock now. So
of
I
course.
was streaming and Peacock. And I saw, and I have a 96-inch screen TV in my living room there. Again, I'm not name dropping. I'm not trying to.
No, of course not. No.
Okay, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Everything else is modest, but I said, okay, let me see, and I watch it, and for the first time, it was 15 years since I had seen an episode, and it was in such gigantic
format,
and it affected me so differently than when we were doing it.
Positively or negatively?
Positively. When I was doing it, I was like you. I didn't want to watch. It was hard. I was so critical. I was this and that. And now removed from it, I started watching it, and then I went on a little journey where I watched them all in order, and I graded them from one.
No, you didn't.
I gave them and I gave 210 episodes. I have it charted. I'm very, I'm a little OCD in that sense, and I gave 100. 100 would be perfect, and none of them got 100, but just because I can't do that, even though they.
Sure.
An outsider might say, give one of them 100 or a couple of them 100. The highest.
What got 99?
96 was the highest I gave.
96?
Yeah. But I went in order because I don't know how you felt about the middle, but the characters evolved, the writing evolved. We got better season to season,
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, like you said, you appreciated your performance more now watching it, right? I did that with you guys, with you, Patty. I was blown away with Peter and Doris. I was just wow, and Brad, everybody, how precise and good they were.
Yes.
I didn't do that for myself, but I just enjoyed it much more. And listen, we did 210 episodes. They're not all gems. You're going to have some.
Yes.
When you're cranking one out a week, that's, they're not all A+. But I did appreciate it more. Yeah.
That's good.
That's wonderful. It does make you, when you're at least in it, I feel like doing a movie, you're able to be really precious about everything. But when you're doing TV, I feel like it does allow you to be less precious because you're
Right.
like, yeah, they're not all going to be gems, and that's fine because the next one we're just going to
so
do it
much
better.
content you're cranking out.
Next time. Wait, I'm so curious. Was there a criteria? Did you have a set criteria for
It was
what
the rubric.
rated? Yeah, like what was the rubric? Like how did what made a 96 versus like an 80 versus a?
I mean, I just.
Was it mostly acting, or did you include the writing also?
No, it was everything. I mean, the acting was always stellar. I mean, there were times where I was like, why did I have to be that big there? Why did it have to, it felt a little over the top. But you're doing a show, you're doing the genre calls for it to be a certain way. And also we're in front of a live audience. The middle's not in front of a live audience. So you have to project, you have to be, you're a single camera or whether you use two cameras, whatever. We're like doing a play. So it has to be, you have to play to the back of the room.
You have to hold for the laughs.
Yeah.
It's theater.
But it was a little bit of everything. But definitely like in the first season were my lowest scores. I hope none of the writers are watching this. Just because we were finding it out, Brad's character changed. And also the audience coming in had no idea who we were for the first 6-7 episodes. We hadn't aired yet. So we're trying to not write set up punchline. We're trying for the humor to come from the character, and they don't know the character yet. The audience doesn't know the character yet. So there was a lot of times where it was not a great audience in the beginning, and you had to just trust that it was funny, like you thought when you wrote it.
Trusting that you knew you were writing good characters, even if the audience hadn't quite found their way into them yet.
Yes, because once it aired, and after a couple weeks, and the audience came in, and they knew when Marie came in the room, they knew, oh, there's going to be tension now. That was the trick that helped everything, and then you didn't have to rely on just a standard joke there. The joke could come from the situation and the character.
Yeah.
I guess that brings me to like, you rewatched it. We're rewatching. I feel like rewatching like comfort TV it's huge, and I feel like the middle for sure. And I can only assume from what you see from Raymond fans that because it's on Peacock, there's a whole new generation that's finding it. But then also you're getting the audience that watched you back in the 90s and early 2000s who are like, oh, this was my favorite show. I'm so glad I have a place to watch it. Do you guys find that you're getting a new wave of recognition in this like rewatch culture?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a new generation. So there's the people that, as you said, that watched it in the 90s and their kids were little, and now their kids are grown and have kids, and they're in their 30s, and now they're watching it, but they're also watching the middle too, which is interesting. And it's and everybody just loves it. And when I look at it, I'm like, my kids are like you, Eden. They have not seen any of my shows.
Really?
No.
They won't watch. They just make it a point. They make it a point not to watch. Yeah.
They don't make it a point. It's just like, if it comes on, maybe they'll watch it. I want to do pick out the best 5, and I'll get your list, Ray, of the top 10, the 96% ones to show to them.
Yeah.
But they were too little to watch it.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't. They wouldn't get it when they were. I mean, I didn't even have 2 of them when we started the show. I mean, they were little.
Yeah.
And then with the middle, it's just they were off in high school and middle school, so they just were doing stuff. They weren't really TV watchers, so they haven't seen anything.
That's my wife. My wife's over it. I mean, she watched that. Everything up to everything we do now, I really got to make a point of getting her to watch it.
The stuff you do now?
Kind of.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of my favorites that came on when we were over in England was the faux pas, which is when the janitor comes.
That's right.
This janitor comes, and anyway, it's too long to explain, but I remember doing where we keep accidentally insulting the guy because he's a janitor. We're trying to make him feel good about himself being a janitor. We end up just saying really cringy things to him.
Because that's the most important thing, even if the parents can't figure out how to get along.
Thank you.
Great. I just want my kids to be friends with everybody. I mean, who knows? Tomorrow they might come home with some boy whose dad works in the sewer.
And I remember the table read. It was one of the most uncomfortable table reads because it was so cringy. My son Dan, he says he can't watch episodes of The Office because they're too painful. And that episode with the janitor in faux pas was really painful. But I grabbed Dave and I said, "You got to watch this episode again. It's just so great, It was so wonderful." But last time I was home, I was showing the boys just little snippets of funny bits that we did.
Oh, that's good. How was the 30th anniversary in New York, the Paley Center? That's got to be amazing.
So great. I had such a good time.
A lot of fun. They did they built an exhibit of our stuff, and it was pretty cool, really. I mean, big, huge photos all over the wall, a couple of videos, some artifacts, some props from the show.
Costumes.
Yeah.
That panel was so much fun. That was so enjoyable. The audience was just
we had a panel with
roaring.
It was myself on stage with Phil, and then 5 writers. And Patty was in the front row of the audience, and we took Q&A from the audience, and we showed some clips, and it was fun. Yeah, it was fun I see the writers. The writers. I'm the closest. I talk to Patty. As much as
occasionally.
I talk with.
No, we just don't get to. We don't see each other. Yeah.
No, but we talk every now and then Brad, I talk to a little bit more because he has a stand-up club, and when I go to Vegas, I go there. But the writers, we make a point of going out to dinner at least, every 3-4 months together. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Work friendships like this, where you're with them with the writers, especially, you're in those doing long hours, and actors too. But there's a certain sort of bonding that happens. You see them at their best, at their funniest, at their worst, at their unfunniest. There's just there's a certain sort of camaraderie that you can't find in any other relationship that you have. other than creative relationships.
Yeah, well, we're kind of like in the foxhole together,
Right.
I mean, I was in the writer's room. I spent every day with those guys when I wasn't on stage.
Right.
And it is, yeah, you do build this bond between each other. And yeah, everything happens. They have kids, they get divorced, you live through it all with them, really.
Yeah, wow. and with the actors too, it's interesting because you're so tight with each other, and especially on the single camera where it's 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then
on a good day.
Yeah, on a good day, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it's over, it's like it's done. It's so weird. I mean, it's not like, because I see you guys, and Charlie's not around much anymore, but it's not like you're hanging out all the time, right? I mean, you guys are now more because you're doing the podcast together,
right.
But it goes from such a daily intensity to like nothing. It's the weirdest business to be in, really.
You and Neil did almost the same, right? You came from a show. 9 years was his 9 years before he was on Scrubs, right?
Scrubs,
yeah.
I think it was really long on Scrubs.
It was 9 also.
The first day that Neil and I were working together, I said, so how does it feel to have lines? And I said, what? And I said, your character never spoke, right? Because I kept thinking, I think I only saw the pilot of Scrubs, and all he does is he's like standing around, he's staring at Zach Braff all the time. He's just staring at him. He doesn't say a word in the pilot. Right. So I thought that was his character, like the guy on Home Improvement whose face you never see.
Wilson, yeah.
And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, you had no lines. He goes, you didn't think I had a line for 9 years? I'm like,
that's funny.
He was a little insulted.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't have a name, not lines.
Did he not have a name?
He's just the janitor, yeah.
Janitor,
Oh, okay, so I got it sort of right.
You got it from somewhere.
Close. I want to talk a little bit about, because I think we talked a little bit with you, Patty, on the first time you were here, is like you're branching out and doing, you're producing, you're making things. I think like Eden and I have felt a little bit, I mean, nothing to the degree that I'm sure you guys have felt, but like we want a hustle and we want a fire and we want to do something on our own. That's this podcast. But like I was getting ready for you guys. I kept thinking like you guys came up in I'll call it peak TV. Like that's when the ratings were the best they've ever been. That's when just like every single multi-camera sitcom was like fantastic and funny and sticks around. And so you both have like the rare peak of having that experience, but then also trying to navigate today. And like Ray, you wrote and starred and directed in a movie that came out a couple years ago, and Patty, you're producing. Like, what excites you, I guess, in this new landscape, and what are you up to, and what are you looking out for when you're looking for something?
Well, I would just say, let me just say, when we went through like the pandemic and then the strikes, and you could see where this industry was going and how radically it was changing and how networks were not buying the amount of scripts, and they certainly weren't producing the amount of new shows every season, and pilot season kind of morphed into this blob of it just takes place all year, and streamers came in and upset everything. And I just was like, I've always been a grateful person, but I was like, we were so fortunate to have shows at that time, because it was so much fun. Like you go to these parties at the end of the year, whether they were like Emmy parties or just different ABC gatherings or CBS gatherings or whatever. And they fly everybody and they have food and drinks, and, you know, your birthday, they'd give you a weekend at the Montage or something. It was like they fly to the upfront. So you got to go here for syndication. We rang the bell on Wall Street. Remember that? That was so much fun. That was, I think, a highlight, is walking through Wall Street and having all those New York stockbrokers just clapping us on the back and cheering us as we walk through. I've never experienced anything like it. It was, it was unbelievable. So I just wanted to say, like, that, I'm so grateful. And I don't know what you think, Ray, but I don't think that time is ever coming back. But I don't know.
Well,
Do you think networks will build up again and go back to making more shows, or?
I think they're still making shows, and they're still. I think the quality is still there. I just think there's so much now. It's just a flood of everything that nothing makes is on a noise anymore.
An impression.
Yeah.
Nothing kind of sticks, and nothing is like in the national consciousness.
Right. Very rare. Like there's like a White Lotus or something, you know. But even that, I sometimes I get discouraged sometimes when I look and I see a show that's been on for 4 seasons, and I'm like, I never heard of that. I've never heard of it. And people are putting their heart and soul into it, and probably worked for years on it. But somebody's watching it, I guess. I mean, if it's on, there's people watching it. It's just, it's. I don't know what's better. I mean, is it better to have fewer shows and 50 million people are watching the same one, or to have a choice of this, a wide array of different styles, different genres, and yet the audience is smaller for each one?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I don't think it's just not the same. And even when you think a show is sort of in the zeitgeist like White Lotus, when you look at those audiences, they're really smaller audiences in the East and West Coast is where those audiences are, and there's not necessarily hitting. Same with like something like Succession or Severance. They're not hitting the mainstream.
I tell you what's a little sad for me is that people are, you know, with the phone and TikTok and Instagram and this and that, it's evolving into people now not wanting to sit and have a story evolve in front of them at a pace, you know. Everything has to be quick. And also that the theaters, are people going to go to theaters? I know they're going to go to watch the superheroes and the comic book and the animation and all that, and horror. They're going to go, you know, those are the ones. But, you know, when I did my movie a couple years ago, the reward of all the work I put into it was sitting in a theater with strangers, not at a screening, with strangers, and having this community kind of bond
experience,
reacting to the same thing, and that's in jeopardy of going away, right?
I hope not. I don't know. I hope not. I will say I've been I wrote this live show for myself. It's like Patty's seen it. It's a one person show, going to audience to audience to audience and having a room full of hundreds of people be together, laughing at the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
It really is electric. And I will say, like, I know this isn't quite what you were saying. You were saying like theater or like cinema, like movie, like scripted movies cinema. And movie theaters. Yeah. But I can't believe in my heart that is ever going to go away, because that feeling of being in a theater together, everyone.
Yeah.
No, live
it's so
performing.
Special.
I don't think live performing will go away. Hopefully, I mean that's the one thing that AI so far I don't think can touch. But,
right.
But
no.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, that's why I still do it. I still do stand up. That feeling, that's a drug, you know. But I was talking more about people sitting down to watch a movie in a theater. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I hope not. I do hope not.
I think there will always be a place, like, you know, you want to see a disaster movie on a big screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though you might have a 96-inch screen at home, it's not the same as being in a movie theater with your popcorn and Raisinets and the movie theater packed and everybody experiencing the thrill together.
Right.
But, you know, way back in the day, though, like your movie, Ray, Somewhere in Queens, very personal movie. It's a character relationship movie. Those are the ones that have disappeared from the theater more or less, because people think why am I going to pay all that money? I have a big screen in my living room.
In
It's
2
just
weeks.
a character movie. Yeah, in
But
2
it's
weeks it'll
also-
be there.
But it's also comedy. It's a drama. If you're writing a dramedy, you want the drama to be experienced together, but the laughter of an audience is.
Yeah.
It's like the soundtrack. It's kind of like you're taking a part of the soundtrack away from it,
But Brock, I was just going to say, to answer your actual question, which is like, how do we feel about producing in today's atmosphere, navigating that? I don't know, Ray, your experience, but it's tiring. Like, I think if I were 20 or 30 years younger, we'd be jumping in with much more enthusiasm. And it's not like we're not producing. We are. Right. We're developing things. But part of it is because I don't really have any hobbies. There are people that, like, over the pandemic, like my Charlotte Schemmel, who directed 50% of The Middle, she taught herself the harp. Right?
Yeah. We can't compare ourselves to Lee, though.
Yeah, to Lee. And she paints. I've gotten little paintings from her as Christmas gifts, and she knits, and she teaches Shakespeare at USC to the 3 people who are studying Shakespeare.
Right, so go Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You gotta take a golf. That's why you gotta golf is.
I know. Well, I gotta do that more. Get back on the golf course a little bit more. But there are people who actors like you hear like, oh, he paints. He's a great painter. Like Anthony Hopkins paints. I think it's somebody else. I'm just like, oh wow. And there was Paul, the British actor, the blonde guy, Paul. He's married to the pretty gal that was in the reboot of Top Gun. Jennifer Connelly's husband, Paul, what's his name?
Oh, I can picture him. He's he's a jawline, right?
Yes, he has a jawline.
Hey, I need to know who this blonde jawline man is.
Yeah.
Brock's going to be all over it.
Yeah. I'll tell you. But anyway, he was on some, Instagram post. It was like, advice from actors. And he said, I always tell actors, have some hobbies, because you're going to need them when you're not working, because you'll have long stretches of not working. But you'll need them when you are working, because you'll have long stretches on the set of just sitting around. Right. And I thought that's really smart. But I, especially with the dang phone and social media, I just could scroll 8 hours. I was on a plane to England for bloody 8 hours, and I scrolled the entire time. It was the fastest flight I'd ever taken. I was like, are we here? I'm still it's like, I don't want to get off yet. I got 1 more hour's worth.
Yeah. Have you guys picked up pickleball yet? Or are you the only 2 people who haven't done pickleball?
We have a pickleball court in our yard.
You do?
Yes. But it's just me and Dave here. So unevenly matched, it's hard for me to play with him. So we have to get people over.
Oh, sure.
And I haven't played because I know I'll go one way and my knee will go the other, And I don't want to risk.
Yes.
I don't know how anyone does. I don't know how, Brock, what kind of question? Brock is obsessed with pickleball, and Brock and I are the same age.
Play?
Yeah, it's fun.
I have friends who are obsessed with it. Yeah. My age. Friends my age. Yeah.
There's people who are of all ages. There's like 13-year-olds who come and kick my ass.
Yeah.
There's people in their 60s and 70s. They can kick my ass.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. This has nothing to do with anything, Ray, except for that I need to tell you a quick anecdote about my personal life, because I have identical twins.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you
I do too.
When we found out it was twins, on our drive home, we were just looking around, and everywhere we looked, we saw one stroller. We just saw 2 parents with 1 baby, and we were like, this doesn't even exist. How is this possible? And after 20 minutes of silence, I don't know why this is my first thought. I said, well, Ray Romano has identical twins.
And he made it.
Exactly. I don't know what my point was. Well, if Ray Romano can do it.
When I found out, I was in Montreal doing the comedy festival in Montreal.
Just for laughs?
Just for laughs. And we had the two-year-old already, and it was a girl. We had a girl first. and I knew my wife was going for a sonogram or whatever, and she called me, and I said, "How'd it go?" She goes, "I have to tell you something." What? She goes, "We're having twins." I went, "What? You're kidding?" And for the girl, we didn't find out the sex of it because I didn't want to. That's the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to do it again for this one. And she goes, "Yes," and everything's fine. And I know what sex they are. I go, "Why?" She goes, "Because they're twins. They have to, it's different. It's different. They have to." And she knew, I did I want a boy first? Maybe. But with the girl, I was blessed and it was fine. I didn't care. For the second one, I didn't want to say it, but I kind of, and I remember I said to her, oh, all right. So what are they? And she was playing around with me. She goes, "They're girls." And I go, "Okay, great." And she goes, "They're boys, you asshole." But by the way, I'm going to send Eden. My twins now are 32.
Wow.
But 5 years ago, they did a documentary about being twins, about what's finding their identity and finding their way in the world, and I'll send you a link to it.
Send me one too. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it's small. It's very personal. What happened was Mark Duplass met them when I was doing a movie with him, and he took a liking to them. And he produces everything, Duplass. So,
right,
guys, you should do a documentary. We'll give you a camera. We'll give you a thing. This is what we do. And 4 years later, they had a documentary, and it went to a very small festival. It went to the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival. And it's nice. It's good. I give them credit because they did it on their laptop. They did it by themselves.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. You might enjoy it. I'll send it to you.
I would love to. No, I will enjoy it.
I'll send it to you, Patty. I'm not sending it to Brock, though. I'm coming.
No. I'm okay.
Doesn't need it. Doesn't matter.
No. Well, you guys, can we talk about ABC's smash comedy, The Middle?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So, I guess were you guys able to watch it, or how
did.
did you remember?
I did too.
I rewatched the episode.
Me too.
What'd you think?
I thought it was so funny.
I enjoyed it. I did. I watched both episodes. I watched part 1 and part 2.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He made me laugh. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I was busy doing my thing then. I had my own show, Men of a Certain Age, so I didn't get to see a lot of episodes, but I really laughed at it. And I by the way, I'm old and I forget stuff. I knew we were camping, but I forgot that I was in the tent with you, and
I forgot that too. No, what I remembered about that episode, I loved the board game where Frankie pulls out the Monopoly. It was just funny. Pieces from all different. It was so true to life. I remember loving it at the table read.
Yeah.
And then when we did it for real, it just was so funny.
I know,
it was just so funny.
It was all the
different pieces from different games.
What did you call it at the end?
Monopoly of something.
Yeah.
Oh, you dump it, you two! You're ruining Battle Bogalopoly! Oh! That's it. Sue, Axel, go to your tent.
Sorry, Opoly.
Yeah, it had Hungry Hippos, and it had the proper thing, and it had...
I forgot that we got rained on like that, and
yes, and that we were in the tent together.
How many takes did we change clothes and do another take with that rain?
Of the rain?
With the rain?
Yeah, I guess
you must have.
Yeah, we must have. Yeah.
I thought it was really good because I forgot. Like, I didn't really remember what your character's relationship was. Like, I kept thinking it was you knew me, but it was you knew Neil.
Yeah.
And it was kind of really sad. It was a little bit, moving,
Because I was like a loner guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'm a little creepy in the tent.
A little annoying. Well, that's why loners are loners, because. But it kind of reminds me of that song, What a Fool Believes, it was that Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
Because it's a guy from this girl's past who thinks he's had a relationship with her. In his mind, in the past, they had a relationship. She doesn't even remember the guy. And that's exactly what Neil, right? You come in and he's like, he couldn't remember you.
Yes,
and you were like, yeah, and you did this and I did this and I almost had my shot. And I was going to finally go in. It was my senior year. My dad came and he had a camera. That when he's like, oh, he had a camera. And then he put it down again.
So back down on the bench I went. My dad was in the stands. He died that year.
Do you remember, Patty, when did Eileen and Deanne come to you with the Ray idea? Did you talk about them? Was it always a conversation that was like, well, we had Doris on, we got to have Ray on?
Well, I think Ray was before Doris, wasn't he?
No, Doris was all through season 2. And then Ray was the beginning of season 3. Yeah.
Wait, she was all through? She was all through season 2? How many?
She was in 3 episodes.
Really?
She played for Brick, the youngest son, his teacher in season 2. So she's in, I think, the premiere somewhere in the middle of season 2, and then the season finale, which we still need to recap. Reed and I do, but that was fun to see her. But do you remember those conversations, Patty?
I think they just asked me if I was comfortable having you on, which is very lovely of them to do. But of course I was. I thought it would be really fun. Yeah.
They did it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys really do have palpable, like it's funny to watch, like, because I was watching it for the first time and I completely forgot the whole storyline. And so I really did also think that he was going to know you. I thought that was going to be kind of like the inside thing. And so the fact that it really was Ray and Neil, you can't help it. You cannot help it. At every turn, your chemistry, your like, you're annoyed, your glances, any interaction you guys had was perfect.
I annoy you. Yeah. Even in another universe, I annoy you.
Yeah. You're not Mike!
You and everybody else. It's like I'm talking to my father all over again.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
We're in a tent here. It's just us.
Get out!
In an alternate universe, you and I could have been very happy together.
Get out!
And I think that what I love too is the kids fighting, especially you and Charlie fighting, but the three of you. I mean, I think that's what attracts our young audience today is you guys and the teenage. Just the sibling battling all the time and the insults that are so hilarious.
And can I ask you what are the kids? I know what you're doing, Eden, but what are the other kids doing?
Charlie is married.
He's married, yeah.
Also, is he still working? Is he in the business? Or?
He's actually doing a movie. He's doing a movie with a friend of Cameron's.
Oh, really?
That movie that you're talking about that is coming out for, yeah.
He's doing music, and he and his wife Sarah directed my one-person show.
Oh, wow.
And then Atticus, I haven't talked to Atticus. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he still does a lot of voiceover though, Atticus.
Voiceover stuff. He's like has a whole YouTube career as well.
Right.
He's doing. Yeah.
He's hilarious in that show.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when you guys were filming? I can imagine just falling back into the rhythm. It's not extra work to like have the dance when you have a guest star coming on to like, how are they going to operate? What are they going to do? I can imagine it was pretty easy just to like fall back into your ways, even with this new characters.
Well, I think at first it was a little bit, for me, I feel like I remember that it was a little bit of an adjustment because it was single camera and we only did multi together. So it was a different way of working together.
Yeah.
And just to be together in something when we're not, it was weird to have my two TV husbands in the same scene. It's like the Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, right?
Right.
So it was just a little bit, it just took a second, but then it was fun,
and yes, and the fact that it was single camera, that wasn't an adjustment because I had
wasn't it because you did Men of a Certain Age,
right?
You were already doing single, but it's just us doing single together was a new thing.
Yes, and also the script, they wanted it word for word from the script.
Oh,
They
yeah.
sure did.
So
How are you with words, Ray?
Which
Yeah.
by the way, I respect that.
You're a writer.
As Andre Brower used to, I revere the writer.
But was it like that on Men of a Certain Age? Were they not
No, we
strict
were
about
loose.
it?
We were loose. No, we wanted it. We wanted what we wrote, but we also opened it up a little bit,
Right.
Especially after we got what we wrote. And Andre Brower, we
Right.
would
Then
encourage. He would. It's so funny, by the way. The late great Andre Brower.
Yeah.
I still can't believe he's gone. But he would panic every time I said, "Okay, we're gonna loosen this up and maybe do a little improv with it," and he would panic because he does Shakespeare in the Park, he does all this, and yet he was great. Then when he did it, he was great. But yeah.
Yeah, I like a script like the Raymond and the Middle were both exactly as written. Like you had to do it exactly as written on Raymond.
Really?
Also.
Yeah.
Oh
On Raymond.
gosh, yes.
I feel like
For you,
multicam.
Ray?
Well,
Yes.
we did it as written, and then I would do after we had it.
Second takes.
I would do my little. I call them second takes, and wherever I could change up a line that got a laugh, I wouldn't tell the actors about it either. I remember before every show, I would go in my dressing room with two other writers, and we would circle all the possibilities where I could do a different line, and and the audience gets a kick out of it also because they've heard the same line 2 or 3 times already.
It is funny. I was taught when we talked to Rachel Dratch, because she's as a big comedy, like she's a writer also herself, and so we always ask the actors that we interview on this show, because any comedy people specifically, what was it like our show was really, really super word perfect, was that an adjustment? And she had an interesting take, which I kind of agree with, and you're confirming, Ray, it's not really improv. She was saying that she much prefers either going into it being like, you are going to improvise this scene, or this is the script, keep it exactly as written, because what you're talking about, the alts, the playing around, it's not really improvising, it's joke writing.
Script
I wasn't.
writing.
It wasn't off the cuff. No. Right. I mean, listen, both things are cool, are great. Staying to the script kind of as an actor helps you also, because okay, I'm going to immerse myself in these words right here.
Right.
And then I did an improv movie. I did with Mark Duplass, and it was more a drama. Really, it was a dramedy, but he would outline the scene. Detail outline.
Whoa.
We would talk about
detail. How detailed? I mean, you have to get to this point by the end of the scene, and you need to make these particular comments,
a couple lines
along the way.
Here's what we need to get out. We need to get out this. We need to get out
information.
This. Yes. But then it was up for grabs how we got there, and something, if it didn't work, we'd do it again. And that was great too. And it was hard because I've improv comedy before, but now we were improving drama, and that's a different animal altogether.
Sure.
Totally.
That must take much more energy, I would think, because the way your brain has to work,
right.
It's different from having lines memorized. It's a certain kind of energy, but you're creating and creating and creating as you're going along. If you've really memorized the script, then you're not creating it, you're filling it out. Right. You're filling it out emotionally. But when you're improvising, you're having to bloody create the thing. I think you're right. Even like what Rachel said, you want to know what you're going into so you can prepare your head for whichever kind you're going to do.
But even like Ian said, I would sometimes prepare. I would know, okay, this is the scene we're going to do. And I would say, I would have 5 or 6 ideas of lines that I could say in that moment. So even though we were improving, I still prepared for it.
Patty had a meltdown. I didn't know she didn't improvise. We did on the first time she was on the podcast. I asked her to do a trivia question thing, and I said, improvise this 30-second thing. And you just saw the life drain from her face. And Eden's like, move on.
I've never done an improv thing. I've never done an improv on stage with, improv actors, improv troops. That scares the hell out of me, really.
Well, that's the world that Neil Flynn came from.
Right, that's where he thrives.
Yeah.
So that must have been hard. Was it hard for him then to not be able to do that?
No, because he also was a theater guy, but it made him incredibly entertaining while we were sitting around waiting to show.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's where he got to do that then. It wasn't in front of the
he did
camera.
all these characters that were hilarious.
Can I ask you, Patty, quickly, because we, like I said, Ian and I just recapped season 2 these past couple months. How was it working with Doris Roberts again?
Well, I just happened to see the episode because I was only in, I think, one episode that she was in, which was the last day of school where he had to turn in his journal he was supposed to be writing in every week. And Vic had not been doing that. And so I think we just had that one scene together, but it was really fun. Good. And I learned to talk about like pauses and looks and things. Doris Roberts was like the queen of just looking. And she used to do this one thing that I've stolen in other jobs, where she would she'd be caught in a lie and she'd be trying to think of how she could get out of it. And her eyes would go back and forth like this. And she wouldn't move her head. And I thought, oh, that's so good. You can see, because it's kind of like her brain's doing that.
Yeah,
right.
Not gonna get it. And I loved it. It was so funny. So it was that kind of stuff that she was really great at. I mean, that cast, I feel the same way with the middle. These two casts were just kismet, How does that happen? That you bring all these actors together, you hope they're good, and I mean that you see that they're good, but you hope they can work together,
right? And they gel together, right? Yeah.
Yes.
There was I think there was a couple episodes where you interacted, because there's this one where you have to take a math test that she's running for the parents, and the dynamic. She puts you on the spot, and when Eden and I were recapping, it was just you're not playing Marie and Deborah, but it is that same kind of dynamic where she has the upper hand on you. And it's exactly what we want to see if we're going to have Doris Roberts on the middle. That's what we want to see. If we have Ray Romano on the middle, we want to see him kind of bumbling like Ray Barone is. And it's fun to watch and get these kind of little Easter eggs and replay the dynamics in a new way.
That's really funny. I forgot that we did that episode. There's so many episodes I haven't seen all of them. I mean, I've seen some of the middle, but I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, when I rewatched Raymond, I noticed how great Doris was, and just what you're talking about. I mean, she seems like this big, loud actress, but the subtleties of her work was incredible too. Yeah.
Because the subtleties in multicam also ring really like that eye shifty thing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know exactly
when
what
you can do those smaller, funny things that draw you in a multicam setting, they ring.
Yeah, which is hard to do in a multicam because
you don't get close-ups.
You're not here. Yeah.
Patty, you talking about stealing something from her? Because I know exactly the squints you're talking about. And
that's right.
I almost feel like, wow, I feel like she must really be my comedy grandmother, because I have stolen these from you. And you have specific.
I'm honored.
Yeah, you have a very specific. I noticed myself doing it. I did it on stage. You have a very specific face when you're lying, or when you're or when your character is supposed to be lying or something. I think you did it in this episode. You open your mouth. You go right.
Yeah. That's right.
I've just plagiarized that facial expression completely.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
You too. We've taken up so much of your time. Thank you. Eden and I are so grateful you guys did this. This was so much fun to have you two on.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It's fun to talk about all this stuff. We're lucky to be in this business and to be able to have two. Well, Ray, you've had many shows, but having shows to talk about that we love to do, and that the cast got along, and
Every show I've been on after Raymond has gotten canceled. So it was fun. I tell you, it was fun to watch the episode, and I didn't get really to watch a lot of those, and I might go back and. Do you mind if I rate every episode of The Middle?
Please, and send it to us.
Yeah. You just have to send it to us. So,
yeah, it was fun.
Well, you too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. It was really fun.
Fix it in post. Fix it in post.
They are so funny, so good together, and even just seeing them in an interview setting, their chemistry is palpable.
Yeah, I feel like when you have two people like that, it makes sense from day one that it was just there. It's like that kind of thing doesn't go away. So even after 30 years, how many years has it been since Raymond has been off the air? 30.
Since off the air. I'm not, but it started 30 years ago. 30
years ago, it doesn't go away. So it makes sense that on and off screen they would have this kind of just electric, just back and forth. And Patty I love it. I love it. That was amazing. I'm so happy we got to do that, Brock.
Me too. I feel very special.
And next week, it is the last Wednesday of the month, so we will be jumping ahead.
Can't wait. We don't know what the episode is yet, but we will be jumping ahead.
And it will be good.
All right, honey. I love you so much. I'll see you next week.
I love you, Brock.
Bye.